Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with a story. Once upon a time, not in a fairy tale, but right here in Zimbabwe, a quiet little plot was hatched. No, it wasn't in Parliament or at State House. It was brewing somewhere between the corridors of traditional leadership, state manipulation, and political survival tactics. The story begins when suddenly, out of nowhere, Chief Timothy, yes, him from somewhere in Mashonaland, was being referred to as the King of Kings. Yes, you heard that right. Zimbabwe, a republic since 1980, suddenly had a king. Or so some people would like you to believe. This was no small thing. Rumors swelled of a letter, a very official looking letter, allegedly written and endorsed by the National Council of Chiefs and reportedly sent to the United States of America, informing that Zimbabwe is, surprise, surprise, returning to a monarchy. On the screen is the letter, and this letter was signed by several top figures, including members of the judiciary, top chiefs, and even Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, according to its champions. Apparently, this was the grand reawakening of the great kingdom of Mutapa, now to be led by none other than Chief Timothy as king. Now, let's pause there. Because as Zimbabweans, especially if you are a combi driver from Kwazana or a vendor from Plumtree, you might be wondering, wait, we have a king now? Who voted? What's the budget for this? And how does this help me buy cooking oil? Those are valid questions. You see, the entire kingdom story emerged quietly but deliberately. Over the past few weeks, a number of key traditional leaders, including Chief Ndiweni from Unravelled and others from different regions, began making very coordinated media appearances. You may have heard Chief Ndiweni's voice in Conversation with Trevor, eloquently breaking down the return of traditional leadership and the importance of pre-colonial governance. At the same time, Chief Timothy was being crowned, not with the full public ceremony that Zimbabwe saw with the Ndebele king, but in ways carefully controlled and praised by the state and its machinery. And suddenly, boom, this idea was now being sold to the people. Zimbabwe is becoming a kingdom again. Only one catch: not all kingdoms are welcome. Because let's rewind back to 2018 when the Ndebele royal family installed King Bulelani Kumalo as the Ndebele king in Bulawayo. The event drew thousands. It was cultural, peaceful, and widely respected across the region and diaspora. But how did the government respond? They panicked. They blocked the ceremony and declared it illegal and sent riot police to stop the coronation. They told the courts it was unconstitutional, and the judiciary agreed. No media praise, no letters to America, no funding, no smiles from ZANU PF officials, just silence, suppression, and legal threats. Now fast forward to 2025. Chief Timothy is allowed to walk tall as King of Kings, backed by the National Council of Chiefs. There is even Sabuku, also known as Temba Mliswa, dancing on Twitter, tweeting cryptic royal messages and being described by insiders as the ZANU-PF spokesperson from outside the protocol. And you wonder, why is one kingdom celebrated and another criminalized? Let's call it what it is: hypocrisy of the highest order. If you are from Matebeleland, you already know how painful this feels. For years, your cries for recognition, for the return of your own kingship, for justice after Gukurahundi have been met with silence. Suddenly, there is all this noise about reviving the Mutapa kingdom, a Shona-rooted empire, while the Ndebele kingdom is dismissed as divisive or unconstitutional. To us, this installation of the Mutapa kingdom is the most divisive thing that the Mnangagwa regime can ever do. And now they even claim this whole royal revival was approved by President Mnangagwa himself, the same man who denied the legality of the Ndebele king's coronation, the same man who chairs Gukurahundi reconciliation talks while rejecting recognition of the very culture his government tried to destroy, and the same person who was the main instigator in the Gukurahundi massacres themselves. Make it make sense. Oh, let's not forget the National Council of Chiefs, the very group now leading the kingdom narrative. These chiefs have said absolutely nothing, zero, when the Ndebele king was being persecuted. But now they are front and center, crowning kings and writing letters to the West like some royal PR agents. So, what's really going on? Simple. It's not about culture. It's about control. The government doesn't want real kingdoms with actual grassroots legitimacy, especially not in Matabeleland. What they want are state-sponsored kingdoms that toe the party line, support Mnangagwa's 2030 agenda, and help distract people from failing hospitals, collapsed infrastructure, and an economy held together by prayers and RTGS. In this script, Chief Timothy fits the bill. Chief Ndiweni, when useful, is wheeled out. But Ndebele king? That's too much independence, too much influence, too much historical truth to handle. And as if on cue, they have now robbed in the Gukurahundi hearings under the same royal narrative. They have promised compensation and truth-telling, but conveniently left out that the refusal to recognize the Ndebele kingdom is part of the injustice. They want healing, but only on their terms. They want peace, but only with the truth edited. So next time someone tells you Zimbabwe is returning to its traditional roots, ask them, whose roots? Whose history? Whose kings? Because unless this kingdom revival includes everyone, including the Ndebele king, then there is no unity. It's political theater in royal robes. And let's not forget, not long ago, Chris Mutsvangwa called for a press conference, dismissed the Ndebele king, and told the whole nation that Zimbabwe was a constitutional democracy and not a kingdom, not a monarchy.
I have a lot of sort of reserved anger too. Just a few days ago, you saw in the newspaper the mayor of Bulawayo, David Coulthard. What was he up to? He's now dabbling in installing chiefs. You know, getting into the politics of trying to make Matabeleland feel like it's a different region from Zimbabwe. He is elected to make Bulawayo a great seat. He forgets that he is with the Bulelani something. And we have chiefs according to the constitution. He is creating a king. He is there as the white great anthropologist, to recreate the Ndebele kingdom by invoking that Bulelani is a king of the Ndebele. And you saw the reaction from our Minister of Local Government against this intrusion by the Mayor of Bulawayo. But what is his task? Can you believe it? I met him a few weeks ago at State House. I said to Mr. Coulthard, you come from a town called Bulawayo. It is now known as a town of kings and queens and arts. But historically, in modern times, Bulawayo was known as an industrial seat. What used to happen to Bulawayo was that steel would come from Kwekwe And the foundries and dyeing machines in Bulawayo would turn that steel into products which would drive the national railways of Zimbabwe.
At Zimwaves TV, we don't bow to crowns made of cardboard. We only kneel to the truth. So, if you have had enough of fake monarchies, selective heritage, and hypocritical politics dressed up as tradition, click that subscribe button, ring the bell like Sambuku rings alarm bells on Twitter, and stay tuned, because we are not done pulling off the masks. Long live truth, long live accountability, and long live Zimwaves.
Matoke kupetisira imishuma endai munoita kamuna matoke kupetisira birika povari kukudana kamuna matoke kupetisira taneta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada atichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Saka tienda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira chitananda endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira parakashi endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira bageza vane siginaro kamuna matoke kupedzisira tandeta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada atichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Saka tatienda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira vemauto tibatsireipa kamuna matoke kupedzisira pasi yese ngatitsvamukepa kamuna matoke kupedzisira ZANU endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira taneta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada atichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Saka tatienda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira chitananda endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira parakashi endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira bageza vane siginaro kamuna matoke kupedzisira tandeta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada atichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Paenda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira imishuma endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira birika povari kukudana kamuna matoke kupedzisira taneta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada atichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Saka tatienda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira chitananda endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira parakashi endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira bageza vane siginaro kamuna matoke kupedzisira tandeta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada atichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Saka tatienda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Vemauta tibatsireipa kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Pasi yese ngati chamukepa kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Mazanu endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Taneta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada. Hatichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu. Saka tatienda unoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Chitananda endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Parakashi endai munoita kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Pagesa vanesiti naroye kamuna matoke kupedzisira. Taneta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa upfumi nezvikanada. Hatichadi isu vana venyika kuparadza nhaka yevana vedu.